Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are going to be making WhistinDiesels R32 in Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. So if we take a look at the finished product, I'll show you guys how to get all the specs and everything. We got the motor upgrades all in. So we got the covered, the painted, we're just going to call it the cover. I don't exactly remember what it is, but I'm sure as soon as we get to upgrading it, we will know what it's called. This is a Benny's car. The stock car is free, but you have to pay, I believe, 800 to 700,000, something like that, to have the car put in. I'll have the price up on the screen here, but I don't know exactly how much I spent for it. But what I do know is that it costs a lot, but the car's free, so it's kind of beneficial, but at the same exact time, it still hurts your bank. We got the spoiler and everything. I think I added that. I'm not sure if that's actually on the car, or if it isn't, or isn't. I don't know for a fact, but we could do a side-by-side comparison right here. So if we got my car, and then we can get WhistinDiesels' car, poof, right here. They look kind of similar, not gonna lie. So if we get a little side view here, I mean, the cars look pretty much alike, so I wouldn't doubt, you guys not liking this because it looks just like his car. So we're going to take this over to Benny's shop, and we're going to show you all the upgrades that come onto this car. Alright, so now that we are at Benny's, let's get right into the upgrades. So for this car, you can either decide for yourself if you want to put armor on it. I decided not to put armor on it just so then it's a little bit lighter. I think that kind of contributes to GTA physics there. For brakes, I haven't put any upgrades on brakes yet because the brakes stock are already really good, and also it kind of just slows itself down since it's a four-wheel drive car. So it's honestly, you shouldn't need the race brakes, but if you're wanting to race with this car or just make it a show car, you can. It depends on what your preference is. For me, I didn't do anything like that. For front bumpers, I went no accessories to the front bumper, so I didn't change it at all. The painted extended, I could have probably done the painted extended, honestly, thinking about it, but I like the original look of the car just by itself, and this is what it looks like, the front end, so it's more realistic if you look at it in that way. Now for rear bumper, I didn't do any upgrades for the rear bumper because WhistinDiesel does not have any diffusers on the back of his car. It's just the exhaust, and that's it. Now for bumper accessories, bumper meshes. So this is what the original looks like. Looks pretty clean. But then you could debadge it, you could remove the grill, or you could remove the bumper mesh. Now this is what you need in order to have the big intake cooler exposed, which is what WhistinDiesel has on his car. And for intake coolers, I didn't go with any, just because from what I saw from the photos, there was no logo on his intake cooler. I'm pretty sure it was just a big intake cooler, just like this. So moving on to the chassis itself, none of these you will need. So headlight trim, you don't need any of these. For doors, you don't need any of these unless you want them, but I really don't care for the look that it gives. It's a small little, accessory to have, but I don't really care for it. But for fenders, you want to have twin vent front fenders. So then you have these two little vents here on the side. On the front, it represents the car really good. And honestly, if I was making a build myself, I wouldn't wide body it. I would just have, the twin vent front fenders, which honestly, in my opinion, they look really good. Alright, so now we're getting into engine block. So the engine block stock, it's a red engine block, and it's just red. It's just out there. But now you want to change it to primary color valve covers. So you will have this purple look inside the motor, which Whistling Diesel has inside of his car. But you can go with the secondary if your secondary is the purple with the metallic blue and green in it. It's just kind of something to look into. If you want it to be a different color, you can. I'm not saying anything, but if you want to, you 100% can. And then these other ones are just polished in carbon, so they really don't match with the car too much. For the cam cover, I went with primary color cam belt cover, just because it matches with the engine valve covers. So I went along with it, and I'm pretty sure Whistling Diesel does have this in his car. I was looking at the motor pictures that I saw on Safari, and they all seem to look exact to what I have in here. For strut, you can go with your basic strut brace, or if you want to, you could be a little bit more characteristic, I guess you could say. You can put some things in there. You can put a sticker bomb, if that's cool with you. I mean, I don't really care for the sticker bomb too much, but any strut brace will do. But if you want the most carbon print, look, you can go with the basic strut brace. For engine tunes, this car has a great acceleration, I'm pretty sure just stock. But if you want to, you can roll with engine upgrade 4 if you have enough money for it, because this car is kind of expensive. Listening to it in the garage, it's just a little listen. Next, for exhaust, you're going to not want to keep the stock exhaust. You want to scroll all the way down until you see titanium tuner exhaust. This is the one that you're going to want. This is what you want so you could, blow out big flames out of the back of your car. This looks exactly like the one that he has on his car. For grill, you want to keep your stock grill. You never want to go over it. Just keep it stock. Because if you keep it stock, it's going to keep the same, it's going to keep the same color to it. And it won't change anything on the car exactly. Now for hood accessories, you don't need anything in here unless you want to add hood latches, which they bring kind of a, like a more tuner style to it, just because it's a latch and it's just a little cool accessory. You want to have stock hood. Sure, you can change the hood up a little bit, you can make it look cooler, but for me, I changed it and I made it the stock hood, and that's just where I've kept it throughout owning this car. Now for the interior, you can go as wacky as you want. I kept everything stock besides, I believe, the doors. I put the carbon door cards, so it's not that bad. Seats, you can have custom seats in here if you want. You can have custom race seats if you want to. You can get a better look on it from the outside. So these are all your options that you have. Yeah, they're not really bad options. I mean, I'd probably change it to the carbon track seats. So if you want to, you could put the carbon track seats on there. But for me, I was just trying to cut some money at the time and save some, because there's a car that I actually really want out right now, and I currently don't have enough money for it. Steering wheel, I kept it stock. I didn't change nothing on it. Now if you want to, you can get this cool little formula cutout one. It kind of adds the metallic purple to the steering wheel in the interior, but other than that, it's just a pretty clean steering wheel. All right, now for lights, you can go with stock, or you can roll with the brighter lights, as I like to call them. So you could either go with the dim yellow light, or you can go with the nice bright lights. Neon kits, I didn't add a neon kit to this car, but I'm probably not going to anytime soon. But if you want to, you could add yourself one. You could put a purple underglow. You could put maybe even a green, maybe even a blue. Because if you look at the car here, there's a little bit of green, there's a little bit of blue, and then there's a whole lot of purple. So I mean, it's all up to personal preference. And for livery, I kept everything stock. But if you want to and you're feeling creative, you could throw some rust on there. I mean, you could throw like a little drift missile thing. That looks actually pretty cool. I like it. I like the duct tape accessories that they have around here. But other than that, you can keep everything stock if you want to. If you want, you could add some white or black stripes. But if you're wanting the pure Whistling Diesel car, this is what you need. Just basic stock livery. theft and protection. You get this as soon as you buy the car, so you don't have to worry about buying it. And anyways, it's even not that expensive. Alright, so now you got the front end for the bumper. So you have the plate holder. You want to remove front plate, so you only have your back plate, right? So you have your back plate. If you want to, you can go license. You can change it to black if you want to give it your own look. But for me, I just kept it as the stock blue on white 2 San Andreas Too Fast For You license plate, which is my custom plate. I don't know how I got it. I think I installed some app and I got it. If you guys want a tutorial over that, I can go over that. For the color, you want to go to Charmeleon. Now, these colors, you could see, I guess, this ionized, like blue pearl, which is kind of cool. But for me, I went with the dark purple pearl, which I'm pretty sure it's free for all Xbox Series S and X players. But if you have an Xbox One, you will not be able to get this, so you're not going to have this exact livery, I'm pretty sure. But I'm not actually sure, because I don't play on old gen. I haven't done my research on old gen, so I wouldn't know for a fact. So if you do play on old gen, sorry if I did you wrong there saying you couldn't get it. And then for your secondary, you want to go down to Charmeleon. You're going to get the same exact one, because if you don't, it'll change the hood, it'll change the roof, change everything. Charm color, I went with the black, just because that's from what I could see in the videos, it was all black. But I mean, if you want to, you can change it to red. I mean, for all that matters. So it's up to you. Now for the roof, you want to keep this stock, and then for roofs, I guess well, this is roofs. You know, I don't know why they did that, but for the roof, this actual roof itself, you can have the vortex generators, which I think they gave a great aesthetic to the car, and I'm 99.9% sure that WhistinDiesel has this on his car in real life. So yeah, if you want them, you can get them, but if you want, you can just keep it stock, just keep it clean. But if you want to add that little bit more detail to it, I mean, these are like, what, $1,500 in GTA money, so it's not all that expensive. They're pretty cheap, and if you want to, you can just remove them down the line. Now for skirts, I went for the drift skirts. Now this car doesn't really drift all the greatest because it's an all-wheel drive car. Can you hit some good drifts with it? I'm not saying you can't, but it's pretty good, you know, just driving. It's a great driver car. Now for spoiler, I went the classic RS wing. It's pretty expensive, but all these other wings don't really match up to what WhistinDiesel has. I tried getting the exact carbon copy wing, but this is the only one that I could think of, and it's the only one that actually came out to look like it. So this will probably cost you around $18,500. So you're going to be spending probably $1.5 million to $2 million on this car, depending on the upgrades that you put on it. So if you do put, you know, your turbos, your engine, your transmission, your brakes, your armor, it's probably going to cost a lot more. But for me, I skipped out on 2 of those features, so I don't have anything on it besides the engine upgrade, turbo, and transmission. Now for suspension, I went with the lowest suspension that you could go with, competition suspension. For transmission, I personally went race transmission. If you want, you could add it to sport. You can do whatever you want with the transmission. You can keep it stock. It's all up to you. So I put mine as race transmission because this car is a absolute dasher. It likes to fly. For turbo tuning, you can put turbos on it if you want. That'll cost you 50 buckaroos. But if you don't want turbos on it, you don't have to. Now for the wheel type, I forget what tires I put on this car exactly, so it's going to take me a little bit to find them. Alright, so the tires that I have, they're in the sport section. You want to go to stock rims, and you want to go to the Endo V1. These rims look exactly like the ones that WhistinDiesel has on his car, and I'll show you how to put the color on it here in a little bit. I'm pretty sure I put a gold or a bronze color for it. But now, if you want to, you can go to your wheel colors, and you go to a dark copper. So you can add dark copper to it, and it looks that little bit more better to make it more realistic and have the effect of WhistinDiesel's car in GTA 5. Windows, I went limo because I just like the window. You know, I like the windows dark. But if you want to, you can have none. You can have the light smoke, dark smoke, which you can still see through. It's It's like a 3% tint, but this is 5. We like the 5% tint. And there you have it. WhistinDiesels car in Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, if you guys are really interested in all these, you can put suggestions down in the comments below for which tutorial you'd like to see next. So if you want to see maybe WhistinDiesels Lamborghini, maybe you want to see maybe a Bumblebee car, just hit me up with random car ideas. I'll leave my IG in the description below. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.